name is Michael Kantor, and my occupation is, as of most recently, is a new endeavor in the social entrepreneur space of what's been referred to as cause marketing. What we're doing is developing projects in developing world that provide either an economic or environmental impact to that area, as well as creating a powerful branding opportunity for large companies to get involved so that they can underwrite the project and that so they can actually gain significant ROI, or return on investment, doing so. So it is a for-profit model with a social cause. I was on this path of I was just trying to figure out how do I go between, ski town of choice and Hawaii, and literally just a fork in the road. A friend of mine, not a friend of mine, my best friend, he was completely family. He called me up and with this business idea. He lived in Maryland. He was very much the businessman. We grew up together since we were born, and we were very similar but very different. And he was all business, and I was all everything else. And he called me up to have this business idea. I want you to come back to Maryland, and we can do this thing. And I'm still shocked when I look back on that. I was literally sitting on the water, right by the water, overlooking this place called Ho'okipa Beach. It's an amazing spot in Maui, and I said yes, and it shocks me that I said yes. I already had a job back in Tahoe. I had an apartment, I had roommates, and somehow I just said, okay, I'll do that. And I ended up in Maryland like 3 weeks later. And then that whole thing fell through, actually. And it was now into ski season. I had no job, I had no place, I had no anything. So I said, okay, I guess I'll move to Manhattan and get a job. And I got a really good job, surprisingly. A job I did not deserve to get, but I did. And a career started. I never expected to really have a career. I don't know what I expected. I didn't think about it. I didn't think more than a day out. But suddenly here I was doing this thing and living in Manhattan, and I just continued on that path. The advice that I would give to myself is to recognize that there's a lot to learn. There's an expression that says, but by the time you're old enough to realize your parents weren't always wrong, you probably have kids who think you are. And that was certainly me. I didn't think I needed to learn anything from anybody, and boy was I wrong about that. And I was a late bloomer. I was a very late bloomer in terms of recognizing that there's a world out there, and there's a lot of experiences to have and people to learn from, and that it was fun to learn. I didn't. To me, fun just meant like riding my bicycle or going skiing. Learning certainly wasn't fun. And then later in life, for me, well post college, I found that it was fun, and that it was exciting and interesting, and God, I wish I knew that when I was 16. For me, it's not a class, it's not a subject. I wish the biggest thing I learned was a desire to learn, was the value of knowledge, the value of listening. So I like expressions. I like quotes. Anyway, there's another quote that says that if you know only one thing in life, you should know enough to be willing to learn from whomever is willing to teach. And everybody has something to teach. There's all sorts of things you can learn from me, and I promise there's all sorts of things I can learn from you. And if I'm willing to open my eyes and hear what you have to say, I'm going to benefit from that. And that holds true for everybody out there. Adventure, surprise, it's not over. Content. I've never had that word, felt that word. I like that. Definitely adventure. Love. You've probably all heard how so many of the great inventions that have called inventions or discoveries have been accidents. So what was a screw up ended up being genius. I mean, so it just there's it's a very blurry line between the two, and I'd like to think that that's what he was talking about when he wrote that. And he wasn't simply trying to be funny, but there's you walk through life and a lot of things that it could go either way. It could be absolute brilliance or it could be idiotic, and it's sort of up to you to decide which, what you do with that.